And the latest AP polls are out. Find out what team is first place and what it's like to be compared in the industry. Austin Marshall is coming up, and he'll be joining us later to tell us what it's like to be in a visual industry. Welcome to Maroon 360. Clay County Jail escapee was found in Starkville on Thursday and is now in custody. I'm Ashley Fortenberry.
And I'm Katrina Smith. Our top story tonight: an Al-Qaeda leader has been killed. According to U.S. officials, the leader of Al-Qaeda terror group was killed in an airstrike led by the U.S. military in Syria. Sanafi al-Nasser was a Saudi citizen whose real name was Abdul Mohsen. He was the highest-ranked member of the Khorasan group and was killed in northwestern Syria in the airstrike attack. A CNN terrorism expert, Paul Cruikshank, called the death of Nasser an embodied significant blow to Al-Qaeda. He was one of Al-Qaeda's most senior figures in Syria.
Tragedy struck this week in Alberta, Canada, as 3 sisters fell to their deaths and suffocated in a truckload of canola seeds on Tuesday. According to CTV News, 13-year-old Katie Bott and 11-year-old twin sisters Dara and Jana were playing in the truck when they somehow fell in and suffocated. Katie and one of the twins were pronounced dead on the scene, while the other twin was flown to Emmanuel's Strawberry Children's Hospital in critical condition. She was later pronounced dead on Wednesday night at 3 a.m. Investigators are working closely with medical examiners to determine exactly what happened.
Evidence from a child abduction case found in 1997 resulted in a man getting arrested Monday in Midwest City, Oklahoma. According to authorities, 56-year-old Anthony Joseph Palmer was charged with kidnapping and first-degree murder of Kirsten Hatfield. Hatfield, 8 at the time, is believed to be dead, said Midwest City Police Chief Brandon Claves on Tuesday. DNA testing techniques helped police match Palmer's DNA sample with DNA found on the girl's underwear and windowsill. Kirsten's family thanked the police for continuing the investigation after 18 years.
Thursday, Clay County escapee was taken into custody by Starkville Police Department. 29-year-old DePriest Gray escaped from Clay County Jail Wednesday night in West Point. After a failed search, authorities notified Starkville PD of the escape and worked together to find him. Gray was found on South Montgomery Street in Starkville. He was then arrested and taken back to Clay County Jail. DePriest now faces charges along with conviction of robbery and a kidnapping charge that occurred during the summer of last year on West Point Road.
Barktoberfest made its way to Tupelo on Saturday. The event was hosted at the Tupelo Bark Park and featured an array of activities for dogs as well as their owners to get involved in. The day started off with a hot dog eating contest for the humans and continued on with a pet owner lookalike contest and an award for best costume. The Mississippi Director of Humane Society for the United States, Lydia Saddle, made an appearance as a guest judge for the day's events. She also spoke to the crowd of people and dogs about improving animal cruelty laws.
The Starkville economy has seen a boom in recent years with the opening of many new businesses, but one local business is taking steps to move even beyond Starkville. Juba the Juice and Smoothie Bar opened as one of the many new local businesses in Starkville in 2013. Now the business is expanding to other parts of the state. Juba is now 3 locations in Tupelo, 1 in Columbus, and in the Joe Frank Sanderson Center in Mississippi State's campus. The franchise will soon expand to Starkville's rival town and open a storefront in Oxford. The franchise has plans to open 4 more stores in 2016. Juba offers a variety of protein and all-fruit smoothies, as well as cold-pressed juices.
Coming up after the break, Abigail Strickland is going to break down the national sports scene, including the preseason coaches poll for college basketball.
The rainforest is home to nearly 2/3 of animal species, and almost half the medicines that we use come from rainforests. But by 2060, nearly all of our rainforests will be gone. So how do we stop it? One way is to recycle. At home, at work, at school. Recycle paper, cans, bottles, and more. Also, save energy by using cold water in the washing machine. Keep your car tuned up and carpool or use public transportation. And finally, spread the word to everyone you know about ways you can save our rainforests.
It used to be about black and white.
Things are different now.
We live in a world of color.
We no longer live in a world of black and white.
I
am more than the color of my skin.
Some people think they don't have to obey the rules. But when it comes to the rules here at Mississippi State, you better take notice. Don't think you're above the law, or they'll find you. Nope. You could find yourself on the outside looking in.
Ring responsibly, MSU.
Whoa. Irresponsible. Trashy. Stop!
Here's your ticket, ma'am.
But I only have $7.95.
Don't whine. Go pay your fine.
Oh, shucks, I knew I shouldn't have done that.
Keep Mississippi beautiful. Don't litter.
Welcome back to Maroon 360. I'm Abigail Strickland, and what a week it has been in sports. From the latest rankings to the MLB playoffs, I have everything you need to know right here. Former NBA Laker Lamar Odom woke up from his medically induced coma on Friday, October 16th after being on life support for allegedly ingesting cocaine and herbal Viagra. Odom was found face down at the Love Ranch brothel in Las Vegas by an unknown woman. The brothel owner saw blood and a white substance coming out of Odom's mouth before calling 911. Odom is still in critical condition, but the ICU, he is able to breathe on his own and mumble a few words. He will continue to be tested for any possible brain damage. Chicago has waited 108 years to celebrate one certain occasion, and on October 13th, they were finally able to. For the first time in history of the organization, the Chicago Cubs clinched a postseason series at Wrigley Field. The Cubs won the National League Divisional Series against the St. Louis Cardinals 3-1 after setting another record in their postseason run. In their 8-6 Game 3 victory over the Cardinals, the Cubs hit 6 home runs, making that the most home runs hit in a Major League Baseball postseason game. The Cubs now face off against the New York Mets for the National League title and a chance to play in the World Series. What record will LeBron break this year? Will Kevin Durant be the same scorer that we know and love? Will the Golden State Warriors repeat the championship? Can the Lakers make the playoffs this year? And is Kobe truly the 93rd ranked player in the NBA? All of these questions will be answered during the 2015-2016 NBA season. That's right, folks, the NBA season is right around the corner, and many people are anticipating this year's season, which is sure to be an exciting one. The NBA will start off the season with the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Chicago Bulls, the Detroit Pistons and the Atlanta Hawks, and the New Orleans Pelicans versus the previous champions, the Golden State Warriors, on October 27th. The Week 8 AP College football poll is out with the top 4 teams remaining in the same as the week before. The Ohio State Buckeyes continue to hold the number 1 spot, followed by Baylor at number 2, TCU at 3, and Utah still at number 4. LSU jumped to number 5 spot, followed by Clemson at number 6, and Michigan State is ranked 7th after upsetting Michigan Saturday night. Alabama is at the number 8 spot, followed by Florida State at number 9, and Stanford rounding out the top 10. For the 3rd year in a row, the Kentucky Wildcats basketball team is entering the 2015-2016 season with a number 1 ranking. Only this time, they're having to share the top spot. Kentucky and North Carolina finished in a tie atop the preseason coaches poll. North Carolina had 1 more first-place vote than Kentucky. Both teams ended up with 749 total poll points. Maryland, Duke, and Kansas round out the top 5 in the preseason poll. Overall, the Big 12 and the Big 10 each have 5 teams in the rankings. The ACC has 4, and the Pac-12 and the SEC each have 3. That's all I have for your national sports update, but Blake Scott has a look inside what's going on in the world of Bulldog athletics. What do you have for us, Blake?
Thanks, Abigail. One of your Bulldog basketball players is earning awards before he ever steps on the court. And this weekend, MSU football moved closer to a bowl game berth with a win that saw a lot of fresh faces due to injuries that have piled up over the past few weeks. Stay tuned. I'll have the full story after the break.
1. Two, 3, cigarettes. 4, 5, 6 packs, 10, 15, 20 milligrams of nicotine per day. Yellow, teeth, bad breath, disease, cancer. Repeat until bam.
Imagine not having a home, or a clean place to sleep, or someone to rely on. For a homeless cat or dog, that is reality. 6 to 8 million cats and dogs do not have any of this, and 2.7 million of them never will because they will be euthanized before they find a home. Adopt an animal from a shelter and help give them the life they might have never had.
I mean, you see them coming in. I mean, I thought they did a good job. Brandon Bryant, big interception there to kind of seal the victory at the end. Some of the freshmen on the field out there making a lot of plays. The young running backs running the ball. Malik Avdir, I think, had a pretty big day for us offensively. Fred got banged up, and he had to get in there. So I think those guys are stepping up, and it's what we need to do as a program. We wanted to build depth. As a program, I mean, you got to have depth if you're going to play in the Southeastern Conference, and to go through the schedules that we have to go through week in and week out. And, guys got to be ready to get on the field and make plays when their numbers are called.
MSU fans were curious to see how the Bulldogs would fare in their game Saturday against Louisiana Tech after learning that players like Kendrick Market and Gabe Miles wouldn't be playing. After giving up the first 2 touchdowns of the game, MSU dominated Louisiana Tech and outscored them 45-6. Prescott had a huge game, scoring 4 total touchdowns and moving into 7th place all-time in SEC history with 87 career touchdowns responsible for. He also joined Tim Tebow and Johnny Manziel as the only quarterbacks in SEC history to total 50 career passing and 30 career rushing touchdowns. The Bulldogs defeated Tech 45-20 and will host Kentucky on Saturday. With MSU reaching new heights on the gridiron last season, it has brought national attention to Starkville like never before. People are finally seeing how good some of these Bulldogs really are. MSU currently has 14 players in the NFL on active rosters and 5 more players on practice squads. Not only are Bulldogs making the team, but they've become household names across the nation. Defensive end Fletcher Cox with the Philadelphia Eagles was awarded the NFC Defensive Lineman of the Week recently, and linebacker KJ Wright won Super Bowl 48 with the Seattle Seahawks. But the Dogs aren't done, and with the talent and success MSU's having on and off the field, it should be a long list of Bulldogs playing in the NFL. Before ever playing in a college basketball game, Malik Newman is already earning awards. The 6'3" guard from Jackson, Mississippi has been named to the Jerry West Shooting Guard of the Year watch list, announced by the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame last week. Newman is one of 20 players in the nation that was named to this list, and only one of 3 players from the SEC to make the list. Newman led Callaway High School to 4 Class 5A state titles and was a 2-time Mr. Basketball in the state of Mississippi. He finished his high school career by totaling over 3,000 points, 650 rebounds, and 300 assists. Coming off a win over Georgia last weekend, the MSU volleyball team dropped 2 road games this weekend. MSU traveled to LSU and Texas A&M, dropping both matches in 3-0 decisions. These losses mark only the second time this season that the Bulldogs have dropped consecutive losses. Despite the loss, however, sophomore libero Peyton Harris reached her 1,000th career dig, a milestone many players reach only in the later years of their collegiate career. She now stands just 106 digs short of cracking the top 10 list for digs in a career at MSU. At 13-8, the Bulldogs still hold the best start in school history since going 14-7 in 2000. Coming off a shutout victory against against number 20 Kentucky, the MSU soccer team battled until the clock ran out, but were not able to get the victory as the Bulldogs fell to number 13 Florida in front of a record home crowd of more than 1,300 fans. The Maroon and White trailed 2-0 after the half until freshman Kennedy Carbon scored on an assist from Carly Malden with just 3 seconds left in the match to put MSU on the scoreboard and to collect the third goal of her career. The Bulldogs travel to Baton Rouge this weekend to take on the Tigers of LSU in a Friday night SEC showdown at 7 p.m. After a month of scrimmage play, the Bulldogs' World Series is finally in full swing at Dudy Noble Field. MSU fans have one last chance to see head coach John Cohen's Diamond Dogs and his new recruiting class, which was named the 5th best incoming class in the nation by Baseball America, before they begin preseason practices. The best-of-5 series matchup has already been decided as the Maroon team swept the Gray team in the first 3 games. The Gray team, however, captured Game 4, but Game 5 will still be played tonight. The Maroon team has earned a year's worth of bragging rights as well as a fabulous steak dinner for the series win. Tonight's matchup is set for 5 p.m. That's it for your Maroon 360 local sports update. After the break, Antoinette Ingram's going to sit down with Austin Marshall to find out what it's like to be visually impaired while working in a purely visual industry.
The rainforest is home to nearly 2/3 of animal species, and almost half the medicines that we use come from rainforests. But by 2060, nearly all of our rainforests will be gone. So how do we stop it? One way is to recycle. At home, at work, at school. Recycle paper, cans, bottles, and more. Also, save energy by using cold water in the washing machine. Keep your car tuned up and carpool or use public transportation. And finally, spread the word to everyone you know about ways you can save our rainforests.
It used to be about black and white.
Things are different now. We live in a world of color.
We no longer live in a world of black and white.
I
am more than the color of my skin.
Some people think they don't have to obey the rules. But when it comes to the rules here at Mississippi State, you better take notice. Don't think you're above the law.
Welcome back to Maroon 360. I'm here with Austin Marshall. And Austin Marshall, could you tell us where you're from?
I am from Houston, Mississippi. It's about 45 minutes north of here. And I'm a resident of Starkville right now. So.
Okay, and I'm aware that you're legally blind.
Yes.
Could you tell us the severity of that?
I have no vision in my left eye and partial in my right, and my acuity is, they tell me it's 2300. So.
Man, okay, and you are a freelance specialist. So does that provide any difficulties for that job?
Not necessarily. I travel around. I'm a freelancer for ESPN, Fox Sports, NBC, that, anything that broadcasts sports and entertainment. I travel around with them. The biggest thing is probably, small print on like buttons, signs, different things like that. But I have other technologies to work around that. Getting to and from a show is difficult, but now I'm at the level of my career where they fly me out, and they pay per diem, they pay me for travel, they pay me for expenses and all that kind of stuff. So it's not necessarily a problem. It's more of a hindrance. There are certain things that I might need help with, or certain things that people could help me do, or or things that Bentley helps me do. But it's not necessarily a debilitating issue. It's more just an inconvenience to me.
Okay, and how long has Bentley been with you?
I've had Bentley for a year and a half. Our year-and-a-half anniversary was last Tuesday, so a week from today. I went to Florida to train with him for a month. He's been through 6 or 7 months of training, and I went to get him for a month, and then I came back and started working full-time after that again. So.
Oh wow! Do you have any favorite things that you like to do in your job?
I'm primarily an audio specialist, so I set up. I'm an A2 and an A1, so I set up and mix the show depending on what I get called to do. I've done some camera stuff. I'm really fond of engineering and doing all the engineering type things, setting up, tearing down, making sure the technology works. If the technology breaks, fix it. Getting out there, just getting my hands dirty and doing different things.
And I know you want to pursue a career in engineering. What specific job would you want in engineering?
The primary goal for me in engineering is to be an EIC, as engineer in charge, and they're in charge of all the day-to-day engineering on a broadcast and on a truck. Also a technical operations producer that's in charge of all the what cameras go where they're supposed to go, how technology is going to integrate into the broadcast. So you take the technology and the creatives, and you're the go-between between the two people. So that gives me creative side, that gives me the technology side, and just to be an EIC or a technical director, which is still the director's right-hand man. So I still get to press buttons, but also get to make creative decisions as well.
Okay, that's very interesting. What is something that you would want viewers to get from your story?
I'd say probably, if I could say one thing, it would be never stop. Keep going. Life's always going to get you down. If you hit a wall, if you hit a brick wall, then just keep going. Never stop. Do what you have to do to get around those challenges. And like I said, I see my disability as more of a hindrance to me as opposed to a debilitating issue. And I was never told no as a child. So I've been fortunate enough to be blessed with friends and family that have let me do everything that I wanted to do and let me pursue those goals.
Well, that's so amazing, and it's very motivational and encouraging for the world to hear. And once again, I'm so happy to have you here on our show. Up next, we have Kay with entertainment.
Animal species, and almost half the medicines that we use come from rainforests. But by 2060, nearly all of our rainforests will be gone. So how do we stop it? One way is to recycle. At home, at work, at school. Recycle paper, cans, bottles, and more. Also, save energy by using cold water in the washing machine. Keep your car tuned up and carpool or use public transportation. And finally, spread the word to everyone you know about ways you can save our rainforests.
It used to be about black and white.
Things are different now. We live in a world of color.
We no longer live in a world of black and white.
I
I
am more than the color of my skin.
Some people think they don't have to obey the rules. But when it comes to the rules here at Mississippi State, you better take notice. Don't think you're above the law, or they'll find you. Nope. You could find yourself on the outside looking in.
From fashion to film and a little wine, Maroon Entertainment will keep you up to date on what fun things are going on for you to enjoy. I'm Kay King. 22 seasons later, America's Next Top Model will walk the runway one last time. Host and executive producer Tyra Banks broke the news via Twitter saying, "Thinking Top Model 22 should be our last cycle. I truly believe it's time. May your pics be forever fierce. Keep on smiling." Since the premiere in 2003, America's Next Top Model has been a hit. Cycle 22's first episode brought in 1.2 million viewers. The series finale of America's Next Top Model will air on December 4th. Fans can look forward to a retrospective special later next year. Can you narrow down your favorite Harry Potter chapter? Author J.K. Rowling can. Rowling often takes to Twitter to answer fans' questions. Recently, she was asked about her favorite chapter in the 7-book series. Rowling chose chapter 34, The Forest Again, from the Deathly Hallows. In this chapter, Harry Potter enters the Forbidden Forest to face he who must not be named. Before Harry comes across Voldemort, he is visited by people who are close to him that have died, including his parents. Rowling has said before that this is the part of the book that has made her cry the most. On Saturday, Tracy Morgan returned to the Saturday Night Live stage in his first appearance since a near-fatal car crash. He was joined by 30 Rock cast members Tina Fey, Alec Baldwin, Jane Krakowski, and Jack McBrayer. Morgan suffered severe head trauma in June 2014, which left him comatose when a truck slammed into the back of the limo bus he was riding in. During a skit on stage, Fey broke character to say, "We're so happy you're okay. We're even happier that you are ready to make people laugh again." Mississippi State University celebrated homecoming by hosting a number of events last week, including a comedy show that featured one of the most currently in-demand comedians in the world, Dean Edwards. Edwards, who is most known for MTV2's Guy Code and Saturday Night Live appearances, led a pack of House of Students and Starkville residents on Thursday night in historic Lee's Hall's Betterworths Auditorium. The show marked the 3rd annual homecoming comedy show sponsored by the Mississippi State University Student Association. On Friday, October 16th, NPHC hosted its annual homecoming step show. The event was held in the Newell Grissom Volleyball Gym. 3 fraternities and 2 sororities joined together to present an electrifying experience of stepping and intermission performances. Judges from each fraternity and sorority were presented to decide on the ultimate winner. The first place winner received a prize for $1,000. Second place won $500. The third place won a $300 prize. Omega Psi Phi took the grand prize, and Alpha Phi Alpha won second place, and the Zeta Phi Beta won third place. Ladies Unwind Downtown returns for the 3rd time this year. It's happening October 23rd at 5:30 until 9:30 downtown. The Unwind event includes Main Street member shops like Style Rever and Reed's, hosting a wine tasting with a 20% off everything shopping experience. Tickets for this event are $20 and can be purchased online at www.starkville.org. They will be sold at the door, but only advanced ticket holders will be offered a Fall 15 limited edition wine glass. This event is open to the public, but only ticket holders will receive the discounted shopping experience. Last Tuesday, Hilbens Hall's Dunn Sailor Museum was the home of the fossil extravaganza. The Department of Geosciences hosted the Dunn Sailor Museum's Fossil Extravaganza to celebrate National Fossil Day. Tours and activities were provided for students, parents, and children, as well as refreshments. The tours showcase fossils on display, such as the remains of a mastodon, geological rocks, and other displays. There were children who won prizes throughout the day. Geoscience professor Renee Clary was over the event. Assisting her was geoscience instructor Amy Mo Hoffman, who talked about the event.
Helps really engage the younger generation in the science of paleontology and the investigation of fossils. Across the board, we do a lot of different events, particularly for the students here at Mississippi State and the general public.
That's all I have for your Maroon Entertainment News. Check back next Tuesday to see what else is happening in and around Starkville.
Unfortunately, we're at the end of our show. Thank you for being with us today. Join us again next week to catch up on all your news, sports, and entertainment.
And be sure to follow us on Twitter and like our Facebook page. Thanks again and see you next week.